The new Pope, a leader for peace or division. The world recently witnessed history unfold as the white smoke rose above the Sistine Chapel, signaling that the Catholic Church had elected its new Pope. As millions waited anxiously, the announcement surprised and intrigued many worldwide. But who exactly is this new pontiff? What does his background suggest about the future direction of the Church? And perhaps more importantly, what are the geopolitical consequences of his leadership? Today on the Watchtower Report, where strategy meets reality, we dive deep into the identity of the new Pope and what his election means for the world. Who is the new Pope? Born Miguel Angel Rodriguez, and now known to the world as Pope Clement XV, he becomes the first ever Pope from Latin America outside Argentina, hailing from Mexico. At 67 years old, Pope Clement XV has had a rich and compelling journey within the Catholic Church. Growing up in Guadalajara during a period of social upheaval, Rodriguez witnessed firsthand the extremes of poverty and inequality. This early experience profoundly shaped his theological and political outlook. He studied theology at the prestigious Pontifical Gregorian University in Rome, quickly becoming noted for his sharp intellect and deep commitment to social justice. His career path within the church was swift. Initially serving as Bishop of Guadalajara, he later rose to Archbishop of Mexico City, one of the largest Catholic communities in the world. Throughout his tenure, he championed the rights of the poor, openly criticizing corruption, wealth disparity, and government abuses, often putting himself at odds with powerful political figures in Latin America. Ideologically, Pope Clement XV occupies a unique position. He maintains traditional Catholic teachings on marriage, abortion, and the family, but he's also known for his strong advocacy of environmental stewardship, migrant rights, and poverty alleviation. Many see him as a careful balance between conservative theology and progressive social ideals, marking a clear continuity yet divergence from Pope Francis's agenda. The conclave's decision to select Pope Clement XV sends a powerful message. The Catholic Church aims to bridge divides ideologically, geographically, and politically in an increasingly polarized world. Geopolitical implications. But beyond religion alone, the selection of Pope Clement XV has significant geopolitical ramifications. First, let's consider relations with major global powers. With the United States, Pope Clement XV's strong emphasis on migrant rights and environmental policy could resonate positively with the current U.S. administration, which seeks allies on climate issues. However, his traditional Catholic stances on abortion and LGBTQ+ rights could fuel further polarization within American politics, particularly during a heated election cycle. In Europe, Pope Clement XV's passionate advocacy for refugees and migrants might challenge and influence EU immigration policies. His vision could revitalize the Vatican's moral authority in addressing Europe's humanitarian crises, but could also spark fierce debates in countries already grappling with immigration challenges. Turning to China, one of the most complex relationships for the Vatican, Pope Clement XV inherits a delicate diplomatic situation. His consistent advocacy for religious freedom could strain relations with Beijing, especially regarding China's treatment of religious minorities and the status of Catholic bishops appointed by the Chinese government. This could become a critical area of tension or dialogue, depending on diplomatic maneuvering. Regarding Russia, Pope Clement XV faces a pivotal geopolitical role. His predecessor, Pope Francis, repeatedly called for peace in Ukraine, but largely avoided directly confronting Moscow. Pope Clement XV, however, has openly criticized Russia's actions in past statements, suggesting he might adopt a more vocal and assertive stance, potentially positioning the Vatican as either a mediator or an active participant in diplomatic pressures against Russia. Moreover, Pope Clement XV's potential influence on global issues like climate change and economic inequality should not be underestimated. His past writings strongly condemn unregulated capitalism and environmental neglect, hinting that he may actively leverage Vatican influence to shape global conversations on sustainability, wealth disparity, and corporate responsibility. Yet his bold positions also bring potential flashpoints. Outspoken statements on human rights, capitalism, or authoritarianism could provoke diplomatic friction with nations sensitive to criticism. His traditional Catholic views might ignite controversy in socially progressive countries, risking polarization or conflict. Past statements and future scenarios. Understanding Pope Clement XV's possible impact requires examining his past statements closely. He's consistently advocated that true peace is impossible without addressing poverty and injustice. In a notable speech in 2021, he argued, "We cannot achieve global peace through weapons, but through bread, compassion, and justice." Statements like these suggest Pope Clement XV could play an active role in international peace negotiations and humanitarian diplomacy. On interfaith dialogue, Clement XV has praised previous popes' efforts and expressed a commitment to strengthening relationships with Islamic and Jewish communities. This posture could position him as a peacemaker, particularly in conflict zones across the Middle East, and foster dialogue that previous popes have carefully cultivated. However, some past statements signal potential tension. Clement XV has vocally opposed what he calls moral relativism, critiquing secular society's rapid shifts in values regarding family, gender identity, and social norms. Such stances could strain relationships with secular Western nations, particularly in Europe and North America, where such topics remain culturally sensitive and politically charged. Given his assertive and sometimes confrontational past, future scenarios could vary widely. Will Pope Clement XV steer the Vatican into active diplomatic engagement, becoming a global advocate for peace and social justice? Or will his traditionalist views deepen global divisions, especially with secular democracies? As Pope Clement XV assumes leadership, one thing remains clear: the world watches closely. The Vatican's next moves under his guidance will resonate far beyond its walls, potentially reshaping global diplomatic relationships and influencing major issues from migration to climate policy. Whether Clement XV becomes a pope remembered for peace or division remains uncertain. But here at the Watchtower Report, where strategy meets reality, we'll continue closely monitoring these pivotal developments. Subscribe to stay informed, and we'll see you in our next report.